Okay. So, last we left off, you guys decided to stick your heads into the hole of the grave, the puddle that was in there. Demir saw a creature and like what seemed to be a desolate landscape. At least as far as she could tell from the bottom of the hole. And she ended up retreating. I have to play the music. There we go. She ended up retreating. You guys chatted about it a little bit, and then Lish and Levy, you guys stuck your heads in and saw basically the same thing. From there, you guys discovered or realized that this place is actually the Shadowfell, which is not such a nice place. And you don't really understand how a portal to the Shadowfell got here, of all places. From there, you, Demir scryed on Archivist Varhasa to see if she could potentially help with this strange portal. And she directed you towards World Shifter Aldrich Idis, saying that she would put in a good word for you. And after that, you all decided to spend the night in the tragedy house, and you took a vote trying to decide if you wanted to keep the house for yourselves or just kind of leave it and let Esme continue as she is. And you decided to keep the house, and you forged some documents transferring the deed of ownership. And you just bunked down for the evening. Nothing really happened overnight. It just seemed pretty calm and chill. And the next morning, it's still a little bit rainy outside. You can hear it through the window.
That's nice.
What are you gonna do?
Sleeping.
You don't sleep. You're an elf.
Look.
You can try.
I'm not people's alarm clock. I will take as much of the cuddles as I can get.
Something Hawk starts beeping rhythmically. Kidding, of course.
Grainy radio.
Listen,
as
much as I would love making Hawk just every kind of machine, it would be disingenuous.
Why not? Poor Kay.
Poor kid.
Not a real machine, guys.
You just hear dial up in the background as Hawk comes out of sleep mode.
Modem noises.
Somebody's Spotify playlist just starts playing out of Hawk.
I imagine him making the sound that those Korean clothes washers make when they're done with their cycles.
I've never heard that. Just like, because baby, you're a bitch. Oh, sorry.
Well, I guess as we are getting up, Well, we have to go into town and somehow arrange to get this house into our names. And somebody needs to contact Aldrich for the Shadowfell portal, and we were going to reach out to Valkyrie.
About that. Valkyria actually reached out to me last night. We were all kind of tired, and I didn't think about it at the time. She said that let me just bring up my notes real quick because I don't have those open for some reason, like a dummy. Here we go. She said that she was following some leads. And she's going to. I'd let her know where we are. She's going to head here early today. I think she's going to take about 12 days. And she was looking for information on Navarro, which I don't think we have yet.
What kind of information on Navarra?
Specifically, what order she was?
He kind of looks at Demir like, do we know that?
Not especially.
Can you ask the sword?
I mean, I could.
Out of character, but didn't the person that Demir and Lish went to see that analyzed the sword, didn't they mention what God's sword was actually for?
Yeah, let's see.
I don't know if that's same thing. Like what Hop was asking. I don't know shit about this stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if I remember, we were told that Nevada was not a paladin of Tamora, or it was not made by a paladin of Tamora, but was made for the goddess Beshaba, goddess of misfortune, and the original wielder was killed by a paladin of Tamora. I think that was what we were told.
Yeah, the story that what you were told by Navarra herself was that she worshipped Tamora, and she was killed, and her finger bone was sealed into the pommel before she was cast into the Underdark. What you were told by the Soul Caller was that she is this was made for the goddess Beshaba, and belonged to a paladin of her who cut off her own finger and sealed it into the pommel, and was trying to sow chaos and destruction when she was killed by a paladin of the goddess of good fortune. So
Yes.
two very conflicting stories.
Yeah, Demir is going to say that, but we don't know how trustworthy the Soul Caller is either.
Why not?
She's a wizard.
And?
Don't know why they'd lie about a sword.
Because the sword has hers that makes it so you can't leave it alone, so I'd be more inclined to believe the sword would get to you.
Navara at this point speaks up to you, Gamir, saying, she is a necromancer. You can't trust her. I'm here to keep you safe.
Zamir just kind of like frustrated noise, like. Either way.
Tell me, why would I heal you? Why would I offer to heal you if I did not wish to help?
You tell that sword to keep its opinions to itself.
I don't want to talk to it. Either way, that is what we know so far, if it is the truth.
Well, if
Valkyrie will be here in 12 days, so we
14
can wait
days,
for
I
her.
think she said. So 2 weeks?
I said 12.
She did say 12. I'm an idiot. Sorry. Oops.
We
I
can
was
wait
not
for her and get her opinion.
Do we want to wait here for 12 days, though?
Well, since we have decided to make this house our problem, I think we should probably not leave a portal to the Shadowfell unguarded.
And then there's the children and just getting any repairs here underway before we take off.
There's also the fact that so far, the past few journeys that adventure we went on, time has gotten very warped for us.
I guess that's fair. I'm more worried about Poet, but I also don't know if the whole thing is time sensitive.
He's probably fine.
Lish is
Okay.
gonna look at Levy like.
Don't give me that
what
look.
is the situation with Poets, Levy?
He's just like.
Leave you in the middle of eating a
I'm a
ration.
bit curious about that as well. If you don't mind sharing, at least.
She'll just take the letter out and fucking hand it to Toby first. Out of spite.
Levy with angry eyebrows like drawn on her forehead, just
Here,
like
hang on,
gives
let
it
me.
to him.
Here I am, not having things prepared. Let me get the fucking link really quick, and I'll just let y'all go for it.
Take one down, pass it
Copy
around.
link.
99 letters to put on the wall.
Take one down, pass it around.
I mean, we are passing around the letter, aren't we?
I'm having a time. He's pretty much like, hey, I'm gonna go talk to some people. Bye. See you in a bit.
Tobias, when he receives the letter, asks Levy, is it alright for me to read this aloud?
That's fine. Just after that, Lish needs to share the information he has. She's gonna fucking give him this look.
Lish kind of like looks up from like where he's watching the letter get passed around, like, oh.
He's gonna go at him. You can play this game, motherfucker.
So Tobias will read the letter aloud. I will by doing that, to avoid people have to deal with my fucking stuttering mic.
It's all good.
Do. Wow, such fancy writing.
I will
Team
admit that I'm a
collective.
sucker for using fonts creatively in writing.
It's fun.
It's so good.
Our DM is out here being all fancy and shit with us.
Kingsley, what the fuck?
What? Oh.
Oh,
The
Kingsley.
boy.
It's bastard hours again.
Speaking of boy. Sir? Would you like to come say hello to your adoring fans? I think all of you were here.
The boy. Yes.
Oh,
Other
time.
boy.
Done.
Man time. Are
Boy
you
in
just
the
hanging out? Are you just, oh, you gonna pet me back? Yeah.
Oh, that's adorable.
All right, he's been successfully banished. We can get back to what we were doing.
Yes.
So, Poet was looking for information about your spirit.
Answers. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if Hawk knows about Levy's Corey business or not, because it would be so funny for him to be like, her what
Wait, fuck,
at
is
this
that-
moment?
No,
but I
like
don't.
Levy's been pretty open.
I'm pretty certain.
Okay.
I'm pretty certain it does because Levy told the whole group one time and
Okay,
at
the
the
whole
end.
group. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't have the
everyone in
best
room at the
memory,
end.
so I was trying
It
to remember.
was like 25 sessions ago or more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a fucking minute ago.
Yeah. Okay, so he does know. Okay. No
Everybody
funny.
knows.
No awkward funny today. Okay.
No surprises.
Oh.
Somebody in this fucking party knows how to communicate. Even if sometimes she's a little hesitant to do it.
So, do you think Poet has returned?
Possibly. That's why I want to go back home. But also, I just, with the passage of time being odd, and not only that, but missing time from when I first left home, I don't remember a lot between leaving home and meeting all of you in that, well, most of you. Sorry, Hawk. In that field. I worry. I need to at least check on my sister and my parents.
So that's why you say it's probably fine. It's the time difference.
Probably. I mean, I feel like if something happened to him, it would find a way to find me. Tell me something. I don't know. Imagine the same if it would be done if anything happened to my sister, but I don't. It's not necessarily that I don't trust them to not try and tell me things. It's that I don't trust our relationship with time right now.
You could say we're not on speaking terms of the continuum.
No.
Well, that is true. I still don't think that it is a good idea to leave a portal to the shadows.
No. That's why I'm sure he's more or less okay, if not maybe a little lost somewhere. I'm not in a
If you
hurry.
put your mind at ease, I can scry on him. Or on Grace.
Yeah, I would like to try that. And if we can't scry on him, at least can we scry on my sister?
Certainly.
I hope that
Would you-
Valkyria gets back to me then.
Well, we know that Valkyria is on her way.
Mm-hmm.
So we do not need to reach out to her.
I don't know.
If I have more details about Poet, I can try scrying on him. Perhaps this letter would serve as a possession, but the drawing, if you have one, of how he looks, that could help.
Yeah, she'll open up her notebook.
Tell me more about him.
Oh well, and she'll kind of fluster a little bit because like she gets to talk about Poet. She loves him. That's her fucking cousin.
Yeah.
That's her BFF, bro.
Hell yeah.
And she'll open up like a sketch of him. I don't know how great it would be, but I don't know how just how artistically inclined she is. She's got field notes. Mostly draws magic shit. I would assume. Yeah. So it's probably pretty basic, but that's a tiefling. That sure is a tiefling. And he's got these loose, fluffy curls that they're long as fuck, and he has eyes that, and she specifies that they're green, but they're green all over. Kind of like hers, but kind of a more natural color, not as fluorescent. And same freckles, they run in the family. Since apparently we all collectively decided that Levy has freckles a while ago. And
Levy has freckles and Toby is 7 feet tall.
Party retconning. The same long, like very. The same family knows that it's longer and it doesn't really have like a slope to the bridge. It's very straight. A little wider at the base, and the family resemblance and all that. But he's brick red, and he has these kind of like French gray colored horns coming out from here, and then they kind of you guys are definitely gonna have to look. Because I can't find any fucking like pictorial representation of this, and my drawing skills have been making me want to shoot people. So, but his horns go kind of like this.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Like an Amidala sort of.
Yeah, sort of deal. Yeah. So they kind of curl back behind his. He has pointy ears, not like elf pointy, but definitely pointed. Back and then down around behind the ears, and then forward along the jawline, and then down a little bit more.
He looks quite the handsome chap.
He comes off as a little bit pompous to a lot of people. It's very funny that you say that, but he is very sweet.
Okay, I'm going to try and scry on Poet.
With the letter in hand,
Okay.
yeah?
Yeah, I'm gonna have the letter in hand and looking at the picture, and I'm going to try and scry on him.
All right.
He'd be like, holy fuck.
So, as you cast your gaze upon the crystal ball and try to focus on what you've been told of Poet by Levy, your vision goes dark and you experience a sensation as if you've walked into a wall.
Like when I tried scrying on Fiola. Or go on.
Yeah, you do not get anything. You don't know if it's because he made his save or if it's because he's not on the plane.
Well, I didn't get him, but he could either be not here or just avoiding being looked at.
I think he would assume that if anybody was trying to look in on him, it would be me. So I don't think he'd try and resist that. He's probably not here. He gets help, he's not alone. Just, I guess I'll have to talk to the plane shifter when we go to ask for his help with the portal and the graveyard.
That is a good idea. Tomorrow
There were a couple of other names that were listed in the letter that Demir could potentially scry on.
That's true.
Doesn't need to have a long rest where she can scry again.
I'm trying to figure it out because I'm reading so many different things about this magical item in particular. They're saying you can only talk to people once, but you can scry 3 times a day. You can only do the scry once. I'm trying to figure out what seems most fair. Forgive me. But I think it was you can only talk to the person once a day, but you can scry 3 times.
Okay.
But I'm still looking at it. This is my first time using anything like this.
I mean, what do you want it to be, Avery?
Yeah, it's whatever you want
you.
it to be. If you want it to be 3 times a day, talk once, then
I
you
think
can
that,
do that.
that
If you
sounded
want it-
pretty fair.
That sounds the most fair to me, honestly.
Yes, just
Okay.
have it be that.
Yeah.
You make all the rules.
Yeah, you make the rules in this world. So I could try scrying on Grace or one of these other people.
Can we try Grace first?
Sure. Same deal though.
Oh, I mean, we are sisters, so she does look quite a bit like me. But I think, DM, I think we decided that her hair was a bit shorter.
Her hair was shorter and like a couple shades lighter than yours.
Yeah, a little bit lighter, and then her eyes were like a different color.
They were like bluish gray.
Okay, yeah. And then obviously, you know, she's like what, 13? Hopefully still 13. And yeah, just she's a very sweet girl, but and she also has like a rough drawing of her sister, and she's very sweet. And can I just decide that she's good with the farm animals?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. She's very good with
She's
the
your
farm
sister.
She's best friends with some of the chickens.
Not just friends, but best friends.
Best friends with the chickens.
Is there anything you want me to tell her? Or just looking?
Maybe just looking for now. I don't want to startle her, and I would like to know what's going on with her before before I try to say anything.
Of course. So I'm going to try scrying on Grace.
All right.
Little Gracie.
So you peer into the crystal ball, and your vision just seems to fly towards the north. You catch glimpses of farmland and the occasional tree. And then in a flash, you see a village, and then a home. And then your vision flashes once more, and in the home, you see a human girl of about 17 years old, with a I see you, Felix. And she is picking up a basket and walking outside. And your vision sort of follows her as she scoops up some grain in the basket, starts moving over to farmhouse. Next to it, there is a chicken coop. And she goes to the chicken coop and starts just scattering the grain she scooped into the bucket, or the basket, I mean. And the chickens, like, immediately just all, like, jump out and start trying to eat the food. And every now and then, like, the chickens will get into a fight over, like, one piece of grain, and she'll, like, kind of push them apart and scold them and tell them, there's another piece right there. There's another piece. There's no need to fight over that one.
Yeah, Demir's just gonna kind of watch her going about her day, just like entertained. Trying
it's a very different lifestyle from what you're used to, but she seems happy.
I can't wait for her to freak out the moment Demir opens her mouth.
It ain't much, but it's honest work.
It ain't much, but it's honest work.
Yeah, Demir is just she's just going to watch Grace go about her day, like look, does she look healthy? Does she look happy? Does she, like, you know, trying to get as much about her as she can to, like, share with Levy.
Yeah, roll an insight check.
Okay, that is oh, hang on. That is a 19.
19. She seems pretty chill as far as you see. Once she's done feeding the chickens, she slips the basket onto her arm and starts walking down a path. You can continue to keep an eye on her if you like. But she seems pretty happy, pretty mellow.
Okay.
She seems
Yeah,
very fond when she looks at the chickens.
After the 10 minutes on the scry are up, Demir will come out of it and look over at Levy and just, you were not kidding about the chickens.
Is she feeding them?
Yes, she had a whole flock of them.
Oh, that's so nice.
That being said, she was a little older than 13.
How much older?
16, 17 maybe?
Can I say insight check simply because Levy doesn't want to believe it?
Roll an insight check.
Uh, 18.
She seems pretty truthful.
Head in the hands. I'm missing 4 years.
Levy, that doesn't seem right to you because you remember that you left home earlier this year. Like, you know that much. You know the date when you left, and you know the date it is now.
But that's not possible because it's the same year I What?
Wait. So, the year is 1837, right? And you left home in 1837?
DM?
Yes.
Yeah.
And yet,
And yet my
she's 4
sister-
years older than you remember.
Could she herself have gotten time messed up?
Huck puts his hand to his head in like a headache motion, even though we can't have those. And he's just like, I think they're getting worse.
I mean, we
the only
do
one
know we
witnessing
aren't.
time.
We do
I mean,
know we
we're
aren't the only
affected, but this
person
is
they're
my
happening to.
sister.
Sorry, Dove?
Oh, sorry. I said we do know we aren't the only person they're happening. The only people they're happening to.
That's
Yes,
right.
but-
The other adventuring party, but
I mean, yeah, but my sister's just a little farm girl. She does live near that clade. She's
Do you
gonna
think-
look at Lish. I'm like,
Do you think maybe that similar to when we entered Asher's Carnival and the Rock Showdown, do you think a similar instance could be happening, but in your village? Time is moving forward much faster than the rest of the world.
I think that it's happening across the continent, not just in specific instances.
and I mean, the Summer Glade is practically right next door to where I grew up. It's got ties to another plane that could affect time there.
Lish seems a little dubious about that.
Maybe. No.
of course he'd be dubious, Mr. 7 years away. I'm not saying that in character. Hawk doesn't know that.
Demir is Mrs. 7 years away. Lish is Mr.
Yeah, but Lish facilitated it.
incomprehensible amounts
Lish,
of time.
Lish didn't do anything. It's all the Feywild. The Feywild does.
It's just
the
the
shit
nature
on
of the
its own.
Feywild, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to talk to the
Feywild.
Feywild's manager. This isn't kosher.
There isn't one. Closest
There's
you're gonna
going to
get.
be.
The closest you're gonna get is Titania, and she's not talking to you.
And you got to go through an entire
Little
Shakespearean
fleeting
play before
robot.
she's in the mood to talk to anybody.
You gotta get her a real sexy donkey man first.
Hawk, you're up.
Levy is like fucking like digging her fucking hands into her fucking hair and trying to fend off a headache, and she's clearly thinking too hard and stressing the fuck out.
Tobias
Mirror-
puts a comforting hand on her shoulder.
Yeah, Lish will rub her back like, it is all right. We'll figure something out.
So, moving on. Abrupt. She's not thinking about this anymore.
Hawk still is, and you
Not
can
for
tell
now.
because he still has his hand on his forehead.
How about we split up a little bit? I would like to go speak with the plane shifter because now I have questions and we need help with the portal, and somebody else can go and get the house in our names, and then perhaps we can go find the children once everything else is underway and we're working on any risks that the kids just
I have an appointment
I
with one of
think-
the university staff once we get back. So I will need to take care of that.
I think that perhaps what we should do is some of us should go into town. One of us can arrange for transfer, the other can arrange for repairs. Levy and Lish, you can do your business at the magic school, and one of us should at least stay here and make sure that nobody comes poking around that we don't want.
Hmm. I'd be fine with staying here, but I was planning on being the one to go and find some repairmen.
I can stay.
All right.
Erin can don the Cinderella dress again and tidy around the house.
Be-
And get the,
become the princess of the
cobwebs.
haunted manor.
you find some like nice talking mice. It's gonna be great.
dick about with Esme.
Have afternoon tea with a specter.
Erin can finally have like a good mom here in this house.
Mom!
Aaron,
Yes,
like a good
Mom.
mom and a ghost.
A good mom and a ghost and a house. Holy shit.
Jackpot!
I can't hear a word she's saying, but I'm sure it's all positive.
It's mostly reminding you to eat your vegetables and stuff.
You see, if you can't hear the words she's saying, it doesn't matter if she's trying to put weird ideas into your head about like what you're supposed to be doing with your life.
I imagine Esme while watching Aaron put on the dress and then him go around the house cleaning or guarding or whatever stuff. Desperate attempt to try and let him know that she appreciates his work. She just eventually just resorts to writing like her finger through dust on a window, like "thank you" or "you look great" or just thumbs up, jazz hands, happy.
Just like the little ghost claps that you can't hear, but she's like smiling and shit.
Sound of one hand clapping. Okay.
They went
Alright,
to the
cool.
farmer's
It's a
market
plan.
and got me donuts. I'm very
Yo, farmer donuts, the
Hell
best
yeah.
kind. Okay.
DM, did the professor said that he'd meet me out at the place that I was staying, not at the university, right? I think I remember.
Yes. You told him that you'd meet him at the Blooming Elderberry.
Okay. Okay, with that in mind.
Being watched. Okay. So we have who's going to go see the world shifter?
I believe it was leaving. What?
Tobias would want to go.
Okay.
Okay, Levy, Toby, and Lish.
Yeah, I guess so. And then I'll go to the Bloom and Elderberry afterwards, I guess.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
if I don't want-
I was going off of like Demir going, okay, leave me unless you're clearly going together. But-
Yeah, if Lish doesn't have any business with the world shifter, he doesn't have to go with.
Well, I mean, if there's any mention of plane shifting and moving around planes, then he is wont to hear about it.
Well,
But he's also got an appointment with
Yeah.
the necromancer. It's a
I mean-
necromancer, right?
Levy would
Yeah.
Yeah.
Levy would
Yeah.
offer to like take notes and, you know, tell Lish whatever happens with the plane shifter and offer to pass on his questions as well. Hi, Anne.
Okay. And that means, Demir, you're going to go figure out how to get this property transferred in your name?
Yeah.
And that
With-
leaves
with,
Hawk to.
with Hawk.
I think.
And
You'll guys
you're
to get
we were
the
going to
property
hang
transferred.
out with.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
So it sounds like Hawk and Demir were going to go get the property transferred. Erin was going to hang out with Esme, and then the other three were going to go talk to wizards. Does that sound about right?
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Which group do you want to start with?
Please, who?
I mean, I don't imagine that Demir and Hawk's stuff would be particularly long or interesting.
This
We're
is
just
true.
going
Okay.
find
unless they
whatever.
like fought each other or something, but they might not even speak the entire time.
Ooh,
I mean, Demir
conversation.
is not going to say much to Hawk other than like, you know, okay, we have to go here and like, you know, trying
Actually,
to find.
Please roll an investigation check to figure out where to go.
Oh boy, it's this time again.
That's a 24.
Okay, I don't even need to roll.
24. Yeah. All right. So upon returning to the city, you kind of ask around where to go to take the deed and the forgery that you made, and you're eventually directed towards the probate department of Royas, as it is the office that's not associated with either school. You are directed towards a building that seems frankly kind of boring, squat, and gray compared to the colorful buildings around it. It's very, very much the kind of building you'd expect offices to be in. The inside, frankly, doesn't seem much better, and it has something of like a maze-like interior. Maybe everything just looks the same. But after what seems like forever, you're able to find the correct office, and you stand outside of a door labeled probate department.
Hello. I'm going to like knock and open the door while I'm saying this. Just
So upon entering, you can immediately see that apparently, since most of the property within Royas it either belongs to the College of Arts or the Kaetia Institute, and most things of this nature is handled by temples. the people working here don't get to do very much. There is one desk that is empty, and the other desk has a man laying face down and not moving.
Hello? I'm going to try and shake his shoulder. Are you alive?
He shakes his shoulder, and he gives a really loud snore.
Okay. I'm going to look around. Are there any, like...
He's a gnome, and like you kind of shake his shoulder and try and wake him up, and he goes in his sleep. And behind you, from the hall, comes another gnome. He has round glasses and light blue hair, kind of combed back in what you think must be a fancy way, but it looks like he's trying too hard to seem professional. He's like, oh, sorry, hang on, and goes over to the elderly gnome and like just grabs him and shakes him and yells, "Grandpa, we got some customers!" and the older gnome sits up and like, oh, let's see what I can do for you. Like, and he apparently didn't even realize he had fallen asleep. And he's practically more hair and beard of a gnome with like crazy gray and white hair all around, kind of like a giant lion's mane. And you wouldn't even see his face if it wasn't for like these small glasses and a little nose poking out. And he's like, oh, what can I do for you?
I have recently come into property in the city jurisdiction, and I need to make sure that the paperwork is all arranged so that it is in the proper name. I was given this deed of transfer, but I'm not sure.
You're going a little too fast, dear. Why don't you have a seat and I'll get you some tea? And he hops off of his stool and grabs a cane and starts kind of shuffling out of the room. And the other gnome, who's still there, is just kind of like looking after him. It's like, oh, I might be more help than my grandfather in this. He came into some property recently, and he hops up on towards the other desk.
Yes, we came into this property. We were given a deed of transfer for it, although I do not know if it is official or not. I am not obviously of this land, so I am uncertain, but the former owner has granted me their original deed as well as their signaturing as a sign that the transfer is willing and official. So here is what I have. I'm not entirely sure. And like she kind of like hey, like kind of peppering her speech with Mojave to like try and get the like, I am just a foreigner. I have just been given this. I'm not entirely sure what is going on, but I'm trying my best.
Roll a general deception check.
All right. Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
That is 22.
Okay, never mind. I thought the old boy was like, oh, that's a 4. Little do I know it was a 4.
All right. Hand me the documents, please.
Zamir will hand over the transfer documents as well as the original deed and the signet ring.
I just want to note real quick, When I saw Kenzie's roommate wave at us, I tried to wave back and then like slowly like stopped as I realized. Oh.
So the younger gnome takes the pages and it kind of looks surprised and says, the Tri-Sea Manor. That's interesting. Okay. And he starts looking over the documents. And for the sake of time,
And probably because Avery doesn't want to roleplay an entire bureaucratic process, which I can't blame her for.
I do, though.
Yeah, but you're 1 out of 6.
Demir and Hawk, roll an insight check.
Oh boy.
That is a 17 for me.
I'm actually fairly decent at that. Let me actually grab a d20 so I can roll this. Hey, 21.
All right. So you guys are able to pick up on, he seems to have noticed that there's something off about the forgery you guys made, but he's not saying anything about it. Hawk, you in particular get the impression like this property has just been there for ages. He's kind of eager for it to be dealt with so that he doesn't have to deal with it anymore.
So it's just like, these guys are obviously forging this, but I'm going to give it to them because I don't want this to be my responsibility.
It was an inheritance I received from distant relatives.
This man is not paid enough to give a fuck.
He just sort of explains to you that it is a historic building and you will have to pay for the upkeep of it. But we will get the property down in which name?
Under the Wild Roses.
Very well. Now, that's a very old house, but for repairs, it would be pretty penny.
Of course, I am more than happy to finance it.
Very well.
Do you have any worker recommendations?
Well, if you, we can get the city to repair it and renovate for a cost of 12,500 gold pieces.
12,500. How much was in the bag again? Wasn't like 100,000?
It's
10,000.
Is that actually a reasonable price, or is he overcharging me?
Roll an insight check.
So 10,000. There's 10,000 GP in the thing, and it's 12,500. You said for the repairs. So we'd have to, if we can't barter this down, we'd have to split the difference of 2,500.
This is what Demir's charisma is good for.
Hell yeah, if she can barter this.
And if we can't, I mean, Levy has, like over 700 gold stashed away.
Oh.
She doesn't spend it.
That is 15 insight.
That seems pretty reasonable, actually, given what you saw of the state of the house. And he was implying that furniture and whatnot would be included. So basically you get to assign the rooms now and decide what you want them to be.
Yes,
Do we
excellent.
even have that much gold? Is the
Would
problem.
it be? Of course, I have that much gold, Doc. Would it be possible though? As I am not, as I said, I am not entirely familiar with the practices of this land, but where I come from, a deposit is usually allowed, and in payment of the full price upon completion of the project to make sure that the workmen do not run off with the money and leave us left with nothing to say for it. Is that a arrangement we can come to?
Roll a persuasion check.
Oh boy. Okay, hang on. That's not a great persuasion for me. That's 15.
Let me see what you roll.
I'm just imagining like the pay up front method of like friggin' Skyrim housing and then the dialogue associated with it as well. I can't even
Very
remember
well.
the exact lines, but
if you pay, and does some mental math, 6,250 gold now, you can pay the other half upon completion.
Certainly. I am comfortable with that. I will give him the 625 that he asked for.
Now, as this is a historical building, there are certain rooms that were arranged in certain ways. Do you want that maintained, or do you want to change anything?
Ooh, we should probably.
I think that undoubtedly my companions and I would like to change certain aspects. Is that something that we can arrange with the workmen as well?
I suppose. They will need to know what sort of materials they need to bring ahead of time.
Of course. I think that for now we can start with some of the more structural issues, such as the roof, which is leaking. And I'm going to like kind of go through with the like kind of major structural issues that I noticed. And then the decor and decoration can be decided by our companions upon further discussion.
Very well. You know where to find us.
Excellent. I look forward to working with you and your association.
And as you head out, at this point, the very old gnome is kind of shuffling back down the hall with some tea.
poor guy.
Bye, grandfather.
So,
Have a nice time.
so how much gold do we still need to pay then? If it was what 6,250 at first?
And another
Yeah, you'll need to pay the other
6,250
6,250 upon completion.
Right.
upon completion. So
GP.
from our stock, let's see, let me do some math. 625. So of the original 10,000, we now have 3,750 gold pieces. So we will need to make up the difference when they are done with their work, but it gives us a little bit of time to rouse up the money.
So we need 500 GP total then? I don't. It's going to be more than that.
We'll need 2,500 gold pieces.
We split the difference between ourselves. We could probably pay it, but I don't know how much in the hole we would be
Maybe could
individually.
put forth 500.
Yeah, Hawk's like
500 each.
got just over 500 gold, so
Yeah.
Maybe does
Or
not spend a
400.
lot, so.
Or 400 gold pieces, but repair should take quite a bit of time, so we can certainly get that amount of money somehow or another.
True enough. For someone who's unfamiliar with this land, you did pretty well back there.
Hawk, that was mostly bullshit.
I know.
That's right.
I do.
Nobility, it's not all that different. Wherever you go. Bureaucracy, democracy, or the bureaucracy and governments are not all that different across the world.
I didn't have much experience with it back home, but I guess I could have pitched in if it was needed. He knew that was forged, by the way. He knew that was forged, by the way.
I know. But it is not that big of a deal. I think we saved him a headache.
That must be why he let it slip.
Such matters are not that unusual.
Makes
All
sense.
right. Time to go find our friends.
They should still be in the Institute, unless they've moved on since then.
Demir's gonna head over that way.
Let's go.
All right. So with that, we will switch over to the other group. You guys were going to go seek out the World Shifter.
Could I, Tobias, send a message to OC while we are walking to Royce, since it's morning time?
Sure.
Cool. Tobias will use this sending stone, send a message to OC that asks, do you know about Shadowfell? Do you know about Baba Yaga?
Is that it? You get a quick response back from OC. To be honest, I don't know too much about the Shadowfell. I have heard stories about Baba Yaga. Just know that she's dangerous. And then that's it.
Does Lish overhear Tobias say this? Baba Yaga.
Well, Tobias, were you trying to be subtle?
He was. Yeah, or at least especially with the Baba Yaga part.
Can I mean, you're with us, right? Can I see if I hear this?
Sure. Lish can roll a perception check. Tobias, you can roll a deception check.
Okay.
23. Oh no!
We rolled a 6.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you see Tobias pull out his rock and start talking into it.
You just hear him quietly say, like you can hear him say, you know about the Shadowfell, and quietly adds afterwards, do you know about Baba Yaga?
Do I hear the response from Oofsy too, or just
No,
does that happen in like your head?
it happens in his head.
And I don't remember. We've talked about Baba Yaga in the past, haven't we? Toby and Lish?
A bit.
Yeah, it was just like dangerous. I heard.
Lish didn't tell him much. All I said was that she was like powerful hag, I believe, and that she's not someone you want to go looking for. She's very, 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 and he advised Tobias against it.
Yeah, Lish is gonna kind of cut Tobias a bit of a look.
Tobias, like when he notices Lish looking at him actively, kind of looks away.
Lish will kind of go closer to him and just be like, what is that I hear about the Baba Yaga?
Levy on Toby's other side, previously just like holding his hand and swinging their arms back and forth, just like, huh?
Nothing, Dad.
Minding her business. But no,
Tobias just like actively sweating, looking at him. What was that about Baba Yaga? Tobias kind of just like murmurs under his breath, still not looking at Lish. Nothing.
Fucking guilty dog that just like
Very much looks like a guilty dog caught doing something he was.
yeah. It's like, I do hope that you're not making any plans in your mind without letting us know what you're thinking.
No, I'm not.
Insight check. Are you lying to me to my face?
also, isn't Levy's business also hag related?
You didn't bring it up, so Lish didn't talk about it.
Levy asked Lish to share the information after Tobias finished reading the letter.
I don't remember it being called out specifically.
It was called out earlier.
Literally like pointed to Lish and was like, you had stuff to say about like one of those names.
And then he didn't say anything.
And then he didn't say shit! You bastard! Well, now she's gonna bring it up. Because
do I need to roll
wouldn't
anything?
that be a hag? And doesn't Levy have something hag related going on?
Roll a deception check or a persuasion check, depending on if Toby was telling the truth or not.
I roll insight.
Yeah, and Lish, you can roll insight.
That's a natty one.
Can Levy also roll insight because she doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna go with persuasion because I think that's what the moment is trying.
Also a nat 1.
That's a 13, babe.
Toby gets away with it scot-free. He makes a baby puppy face, and we
Levy and Lish, like he's not planning on anything. He's just genuinely curious.
God damn it.
I feel like Levy would have the wherewithal to ask a clarifying question, even if she was just like, oh, he's not planning anything yet.
At least not that we can see on his face.
Well, you'd have to try to carefully because you rolled a natural 1. You're not even sure what's going on. You heard Baba Yaga. That's it. You're like, hey, I'm involved in the conversation now.
Well, she's an earshot. Like, she's just like, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah,
she's gonna ask, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah, and a clarifying question out of character. If I remember correctly, Lish is the only one so far that knows Baba Yaga's connection to Tobias. Correct? Because he was there when the Archdruidess was speaking to Tobias, and then Tobias hadn't told anyone about what he heard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think once he's like perceived that Tobias isn't like actively planning something, he'll just kind of reiterate like, messing with hags is an unwise thing. So.
But what if it's the same hag?
Baba Yaga and Thelma are not
Okay.
the same person. At least DM, I would know that, right? Like they're different hags. They're different people.
Yeah. Baba Yaga is something of a mystery even among the Feywild. You're not even 100% sure if she's a hag.
She could be a minor
you're
deity.
not sure if she's an archfey that's just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna go live in a chicken house on the material plane. Or if she's a human that tricks the Fae into giving some of her secrets to her, or if she is actually a hag. She's something of a mystery even to you. You do know
a lot.
your buddy Otama, though.
Yeah.
You know her.
Yeah.
Like you've dealt with her, you've made deals. Baba Yaga, you're like, fuck no.
Hags are prickly, to say the least. Baba Yaga is on a whole nother level.
She's gonna look up at Toby. So we both have hags?
Which is news to Toby.
And Toby's hag is news to Levy, so we're just gonna catch up.
I suppose so.
What
does hag have to, or how are you related to one, or is one involved in, I guess, your history?
Poet was sent to a hag. Different hag, but still a hag.
I wrote down the name. As Helmas?
As Thelma.
Helma.
It's in the letter.
Yeah, I wrote it down as Helma. You mentioned that Lish knew something. Lish, have you interacted with that hag before?
Here and there. Hags are one of the best healers for the Fae. Serious injuries. Things that we cannot heal properly ourselves. They're quite powerful in a way that is similar and different to ours. So.
I see. If poets go to see this hag, what should we essentially be prepared for? Because I assume we'll probably have to speak with her to find him.
Well, you must be careful in the way you must be careful speaking to any Fae. They are wicked clever. I am concerned if Poet has gone to seek out as Thelma, then perhaps he may have gotten his foot in it. But we do not know until we actually seek him out. If he's not on this plane, then perhaps all is well. The deal was made properly. But for what payment, I do not know.
Levy is visibly like the headache's back. She's just like kind of cringing away from the conversation. Any implication that Poet might be in some danger seems to put her like immediate distress.
I guess then we'll cross that bridge when we could.
Yes, we do not know if anything has gone awry, as Thelma in the past has been quite agreeable. Her requests have been not morbid.
What has she requested in the past?
Levy's walking ahead now. Like she's let go of Toby's hand and she's walking ahead. Like she doesn't want to think about this and she doesn't want to think about what Lish as an archfey thought wasn't morbid. Like she's speed walking.
No, I mean, Lish will kind of say, well, one of her requests was for a daughter.
As in, wanted someone to become her daughter, or would like Amy to raise as her own daughter?
Well, she wanted a child.
Demir has mentioned the Fae taking before. Is that just common among Fae? Is that do they like making deals that involve coercing or taking children?
It's not.
Is that a question for me or Lish?
Yeah, Fae or Lish.
The funny thing about this is that if Lish is being truthful, which he most likely won't be, he's going to have to say yes.
What do you mean he is most likely not being truthful?
He's not going to admit that he steals children. Or at least I hope he doesn't.
The Fae are always truthful. That's the thing. They are truthful to the letter.
Fair.
Lish just kind of like shrugs a little and says, the mortal idea of stealing, taking coercion is very different than what we see and think and feel.
Explain it to me. The difference between our perceptions.
I don't think that it can be truly explained.
Do you see it as a way of helping children out of less than ideal situations?
Sometimes. If you are concerned about the child that was given to Thelma, you shouldn't be. She's very happy and raised well. And her parents did not want her. At least not in the way that good parents should.
I can't find myself doubting that if they were willing to go through with such a bargain to begin with.
I personally am not interested in thievery.
Was the situation with Mir one of granting her an escape?
What do you mean?
Demir has not spoken much about her homeland, but from what she has said, and from how she's worded it, in a way, I suppose it's similar to mine, where memories are tainted with something bad. With how she talks, she's actually didn't want to be here anymore.
Just kind of seems thoughtful about that.
When we all first came together, she was so against you. And there was that point in time where she told of us that you had kidnapped from her home.
Lish makes the most like frustrated sigh noise. Like
This shit again.
However, even when she told that story, I found myself partially confused. In the sense that I'm trying to explain this the best way that I can, but it almost seems as if Demir wanted to leave at first, but then regretted the choice. I might even ultimately be wrong about that act as well. It's just, despite all of that, despite everything that she said, she still showed a great deal of care for you and love for you. It seems as if that love either has been connected or real as time has gone on, and I don't know. At this point, I'm kind of just rambling.
I will tell you that I have never once held Demir against her will. She's always been free to go wherever she wishes to go, as long as she is being safe about it and not just wandering into the woods alone with no protection. She has...
Oh, go ahead.
She has the habit of speaking out of turn with what she actually feels. I'm sure you've noticed that discrepancy.
I have, yes. After we found OC again, and after I spoke to the Arcturus and our group was preparing to leave, Emir initially told me that I could leave the party. That I could see that letter, that I stayed with him. she actively tried to push me away.
Well, and you certainly could have stayed with Oversea, if that is where your heart lay.
But I feel like it also lays with all you now as well. I don't feel my journey with all of you is done yet. But it scared me a little. How desperate almost she was to try and get rid of me. For a moment, maybe there's even sometimes now that, and he kind of just trails off.
She can be quite persistent, can't she?
I suppose she can. Yes.
With the way that she pushes you aside. But with the other hand, draws you in so tightly that you do not feel like you could leave even if you wanted to.
At this point, I don't think I ever could, but not unless she really decides to do away with me.
No, I do not think that we are done with you. Kind of weaves his fingers together with Tobias's.
For my sake, I hope that not quite done with me for a long time, even if it's her thinking.
No, I don't think so. Not hopeful at all.
Tobias kind of had a fond smile on his face that's a bit melancholic. And he falls silent at that.
With the costume that you've gotten yourself, this masquerade outfit that you've found, what are you thinking with it?
And he appears almost kind of sheepish. I'll admit, part of the reason why I picked it was because it reminded me of you. Made me know that I could at least pretend and equally.
Is that how you'd like to find yourself in the future? Some lord of the forests? Would that make you happy?
As long as that forest is near where you are, I would be happy with whatever title or no that I would have. If all you need is a watchdog for your force to keep it safe, I would happily oblige.
Lish just kind of makes a hum of acknowledgement and gives him a little smooch.
The contract is sealed.
All right, take a level in Warlock.
God, I fucking wish.
If only it were that easy.
If it was that easy, you all would have a level in Warlock back when
Hawk
you all
would be the
dedicated
worst
your
Warlock. Are you
swords
kidding
to
me?
Back in the forest, you would have gotten a level.
Well, that's fine.
and my axe and my bow and my
In my notebook.
notebook and my middle finger. All right, I think
And
we're-
my
She was,
lifeless
pretty far
husk.
ahead. She was fucking like, she was speed walking, and then she's just going.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
you gotta catch up.
you would.
Yep.
Were you waiting for them, or are you just going?
Oh, I feel like she
Maybe.
would stop when she got to like where she was. They were gonna find. I keep forgetting his fucking name.
Aldrich?
World
Aldrich.
Shifter Aldrich Idis.
Awesome. Aldrich.
So
When they,
you arrive.
yeah, she
You
probably
arrive
just
on
like
campus.
she just hangs out at like the threshold of wherever Aldrich is, and she seems a little out of it, but she waits for them to catch up.
Okay.
We'll catch
So
up.
you arrive on campus,
Yeah.
and eventually you all are able to find something of an auditorium where Aldrich Idis, the World Shifter, he is teaching a class on the basic benefits of polymorph. His job. You can either sit in the lecture or you can hang out and wait.
Lish polymorphs into a dragon in the middle of the lecture hall. No, he can't do that. He'd like to.
Bummer. Would have been funny as fuck.
He could turn into a pseudo dragon, disrupt everything. He kind of like looks at Levy like eyebrows.
she'll kind of smile and go, you know, I kind of want to sit here and listen because I'm not very familiar with polymorph.
I don't see
Give
why
you an
not.
up close and personal lesson about how to do polymorph.
He just like turns her into some shit.
He could. Lish just like holding out a hand like,
She has things to do. She's gonna like later. The fuck.
you could be a mink too, is all I'm saying.
I thought we agreed she'd be turned into a bunny.
She can be a bunny. She can be whatever her heart desires.
She'd make an amazing old bunny rabbit. Oney Babbit. But yeah, I mean, at least Levy's of a mind to like wait out the lecture and kind of just like sit there in the doorway, get free school for a second.
Okay. Yeah. So you listen in on the lecture. He starts out talking about the material components of a caterpillar cocoon being necessary to charge the cell, and he demonstrates the semantic components and writes down the correct verbal components, which everyone hurriedly copies down.
Levy is
Do
taking
you
notes.
work in the? Okay. Do you lurk in the back or do you sit down?
No, she's lurking in the back, just kind of in a corner, just
Okay.
with her fucking notebook.
Lish just dramatically
okay.
sighing every once in a while.
All right, so Levy, you are lurking behind a tiefling who does have an empty seat next to her, but you know, it's fine. And like from there, he talks about how with practice it can you would be able to cast the spell fairly quickly for about like 10 seconds it could take you. But if you maintain concentration, it can last a whole hour. And he's just like going over the basic fundamentals of the spell. Eventually, the class ends and people start leaving. And he busies himself by collecting his books, but he makes it very clear that he's waiting. He saw you guys come in.
Levy taking Toby's hand to drag him through the crowd and not get separated.
Mm-hmm.
As if we could lose
All
him
right.
instead.
Shh. Lish with the other hand, just like dragging the boys along.
Yeah. So what you guys approach him, I assume, and he kind of looks up towards you and he says, "Good morning."
Good morning. We have a little bit of a predicament and also questions. But we
So I received word from the archivist. You needed my help.
yes, Barhassa said to come to you. She can't help us with this, but we were hoping that you could because she's gonna like kind of duck her head in a little closer and be like, well, you see, we kind of came across possession of that old house just outside the city, and it has a lovely little graveyard next to it, and unfortunately there does appear to be a portal to the shadow in one of the graves, and we'd like it not there anymore.
It's an actual portal and not a shadow crossing.
Yeah, we stuck our heads through it. I think it's a portal.
He doesn't look entirely
Just like, what the
surprised.
fuck? Did we just give this man an instant headache?
He doesn't look entirely surprised. As you had gleaned before, he has some experience with adventuring parties and what they're like. So, very well. And you wish for me to try to find the anchor to this portal to prevent it from potentially causing damage or letting anything through.
Yes, I think it would be really unfortunate if anything came through and hurt anybody.
Could you tell me a bit more about what you saw when you stuck your head through?
Why don't you come stick your head through?
Lish!
Lish.
I mean, I am interested in this, and odds are I will need to travel through the portal in order to properly dispel it. However, I am not in the habit of running blind into situations.
Right. And she'll tell him it's, creepy emo reflection of the world, and there was a Kate Stalker, blah 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 shit.
He seems to be taking mental notes of what you're saying.
She shows him her notes on what they saw. Demir and Levy herself.
You guys compare notes, and while this is happening, his trusted familiar Blue hops up onto the desk and stretches and just lays down on some of the papers, and he just like pushes her off and continues to talk to you about
cat moments.
Yeah.
Tobias watching that little creature very curiously, just like, wow.
Kitty cat.
Blue definitely does the father why thing when pushed off of the desk.
Father is unyielding.
You kick me.
Father pushes Blue off the desk.
Like when she's pushed off the desk, she just wraps herself around Tobias's leg, looking up, expecting pets, acting cute, and like, why is no one paying attention to me? There are people
Tobias
here and
will
they are ignoring me.
absolutely pet her.
It's fucked up.
Tobias will
Okay.
absolutely
Yeah.
pet her.
But Levy,
She's soft and you discover she likes being scratched like at the base of her wings. But anyway, so once you guys are done comparing notes, the world shifter says, all right, I do believe this should be enough information.
your call left the thing. We can't hear you now. Uh-oh. Oh no. But Levy will, while you get your call thing back up, Levy will stress to him that some weird stranger appeared to come through and dug up the grave of a child to put a fucking portal to the Shadow Vale in it. But yeah, do your thing. Toby just like petting the kitty.
Is it possible to try like looking at the leave computer audio, come back to computer audio and see what happens? Nothing but exciting stuff happening today in D&D.
It's D&D Beyond.
Aldrich is blue screen.
Resume recording. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't fucking know. At the beginning of the meeting when this started happening, I just went on Amazon and fucking ordered a microphone because I'm salty. Anyway, so Toby was petting Blue.
And Levy was telling Aldrich about the grave situation and the fact that it's a child's grave and some like random schmuck came into the graveyard as far as they know and like fucking dug that shit up to put a portal in it.
Okay. So once you guys are done comparing notes, Aldrich says, so I can probably get his thoughts on handling this evening. once I am finished with my classes and work for the day, I also need to tell a few people where I am going. The Shadowfell is a very dangerous space, so I think that I will need to leave Blue with someone. That way, if something goes wrong, they will know straight away. I can either leave her with you and your group, or I can leave her with someone at the Institute itself. And at this point, Blue is starting to try and climb Toby's leg. Like, she straight up has wings, but she's doing the cat thing.
And Levy is nodding emphatically, like, oh yeah, no, for sure. We wouldn't send you somewhere so dangerous without intent to back you up. You could leave Blue with us and we'd be right there.
I would be most appreciative. She would disappear if I were to be hurt too badly. That would be when you would know to intervene.
Perfect. Sounds like a plan. We should be back to the house by this evening. We did have other questions for you, if that's all right.
Cool. My next class isn't for a few minutes, so I'll answer what I can.
Wonderful. Lish, did you want to go first?
About what specifically?
Just if you had questions.
Sure. Are you able to hop planes, as your name suggests, or are you just a studier of them?
I can hop planes.
What planes have you been to?
I have been to... And he seems to be kind of hesitating a little bit, so roll a persuasion check.
I'm just an innocent student with no...
He knows who you people are.
13.
13. I have been to the elemental plane of fire and the abyss.
And have you been to the Feywild, or have any interest in going there?
I was there briefly once.
Truly. What part?
My companions and I needed a quick escape from a terrible situation. We were brought to the Feywild, and we found ourselves in a meadow of purple grass that reflected the moods of the people around. We rested there for the evening, returned back, and discovered we had been gone a week.
Does a meadow of purple grass that blah 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 sound familiar to Lish as to where that might be?
I mean, stuff like that is pretty common within the Feywild. But, like, your best guess would probably be somewhere within the spring court.
Yeah, fucking purple grass. He kind of contemplates that a little bit. Would you have the capabilities to return?
Return to the Feywild or return to the material plane once
Return
the
to the Feywild.
Shadowfell has been dealt with. I would have the capability of returning there. I have been there once, so I could probably return.
And you have a tuning fork for this, or is it something that the university possesses?
I left the tuning fork with one of my companions who's more interested in such things. She is a druid.
At the university, or?
No, not at the university. I do believe that she is traveling at the moment. He seems to be like trying to figure out how he wants to describe this. Last that I heard of her, she had returned to her home in Ahawi.
And where is her home?
Within Ahawi, to the northwest.
The university, I've heard, though, does carry such tuning forks for moving through planes. You would not necessarily need to pursue your friend.
I'll tell you what, roll another persuasion check.
Okay.
Just for the information that he's willing to give you.
Why am I rolling so bad? That's an 8.
The game doesn't want you to go home, Lish.
I'm about to pull my real dice out because they treat me better than D&D Beyond.
I would not recommend trying to do any sort of plane hopping without such portals as the one you're describing to the Shadowfell, as there has been trouble for mages wishing to travel between planes.
I have no interest in going to the Shadowfell. I have interest in going to the Feywild.
I'm not speaking of just the Shadowfell. It recently became clear that a mage wishing to cast plane shift to travel elsewhere it's more dangerous than it used to be, and so the Institute is keeping a much firmer hold on the tuning forks that it has.
How has it become more dangerous? What has happened?
We are trying to figure out what has happened, but people have gotten injured or wound up on planes that they did not intend to land on.
Via the tuning forks, rather than
via the tuning forks. Exactly. It logically should not work that way, and yet something is going wrong with the magic.
Can I do like an insight check on whether or not this guy's like telling the truth, if he's holding stuff back?
Roll an insight check.
If he's like just full of it and doesn't want to give me a tuning fork. That's an 18.
Roll an insight check.
18.
So you get the impression he's not only being truthful, but he's also probably not supposed to be telling you this. And so he's trying to tread very carefully.
Lish just kind of looks him over for a hot minute. Sussing him out, and they are keeping a tighter lock on them, you say. But would not somebody in your position be able to get access?
Potentially. You'll forgive me, but I do not feel that I know you well enough to smuggle one of these tuning forks out to you.
And what if you were able to come with us? Would that not pique your interest to come to the Feywild?
Not at the moment.
I'm surprised by you, Professor.
I am retired, in a sort.
I think we both know that wizards never truly retire. Curiosity never truly dies.
I quite agree. Sorry, Lish, you kept rolling shit.
I know. What am I supposed to do about it? I don't know.
Now he likes wizards even less.
You have to
Doesn't
seduce
like
her,
wizards.
okay.
This is the fucking problem with wizards. They're always too fucking bureaucratic for their own good. They're
The wizards won't give me what I want. I hate them.
Wizards are cowards unless it comes to their own gain.
We don't want to give you a tuning fork because we don't want you to get lost in the plains. Fine, beat it way.
He doesn't care if we get lost in the Feywild between the plains. This guy gives no fucks about us. Lish just kind of tilts his head a little bit and says, well, if you're not able to give us a hand with discovering a tuning fork through the university, perhaps I could inquire with your friend who is in possession of one. Do you have contact information for her, perhaps? A name? A location?
Roll one more persuasion check.
Anybody help me?
Levy is looking even more worried just at the implication that Poet might be in more danger because planar travel has been really dangerous.
Yeah.
She's progressively gotten like more and more like visibly upset. Has shrunken in on herself, but she kind of speaks up and says, the Feywild isn't the only place we need to go. Please, if there's anything you can do to help, it is very important. Both planes we need to go to, it's all very important. I'm happy to be open about my own.
It is important too that we get to the Feywild or the Dreaming.
Arguably more important to get to the Feywild.
That is, yes, if you want the prime material world to stay balmy and not suffer an ice age, I would assume that you'd want us to find a tuning fork or some kind of portal.
And is that enough to give him advantage? Like,
Sure, why not?
Yay!
these chicks are freaking out.
Okay, I'm gonna
Says they
get
have
my-
to go elsewhere.
I'm gonna get my
to
real
do different planes to fix some shit.
D&D Beyond doesn't love me, so I'm gonna roll with real D20s.
You know what? I feel that Yun was having trouble the other day.
Nice. Oh my god. I rolled 2 19s.
This is why you roll
I
real
will
dice,
see.
bitch.
I know, this is really why I should roll real dice for sure.
Real dice supremacy.
So 19 plus 6, that's what, 24, 25, something like that?
I will see what I can arrange, whether through my friend or through the university, whichever avenue I believe will be most efficient.
Any help that you could offer would be greatly helpful.
And where would I be able to find you, should I be successful?
And send a missive to the tragedy house.
Very well.
That's also where we kind of need you
As-
later.
And this is, of course, all assuming that I am able to return from the Shadowfell.
Well, it will be at the tragedy house regardless.
Very well. Now, if you excuse me, I have to prepare for my next class. I should be able to go to the tragedy house this evening.
Is there any way, I don't want to take up your time this evening because you'll be helping us out already, but is there any way I could come back tomorrow and ask questions about my own extraplanar issues?
I'm sure you could ask this evening.
Yes, I will be going to the tragedy house this evening. You said you would be there, at which point I will pass Blue on to you for the time being, and you can ask me then.
Okay, thank you. You're very kind, generous.
I do what I can to help.
Good luck. And she's like out. And she's like, bye. She's like,
Lish just kind of nods and follows Levy.
All right.
Toby's still there, just holding a cat.
Tobias follows them out.
Tobias steals the cat for sure.
Assume the cat stays with its wizard.
The cat stays with the world shifter for now, yes.
Wah. I will. I love that cat. Okay.
Wah.
Don't worry about it.
All right. So what's the next stop? Do you meet up with everyone else, or do you go try and find your necromancer friend?
Yeah, I think we can swing by the, what is it, the Blueberry Inn, the Gooseberry Hollow.
Blooming elderberry.
Blooming
Blooming
elderberry.
elderberry.
Blooming elderberry.
The glowering raspberry, I'll get eventually, guys, I swear.
The grumpy lily.
It's like the fucking, what was it, the leaky tap and the other fucking inn all over again.
The looming strawberry.
Yeah.
Imminent
The
banana.
leaky nip.
Yeah, the leaky nip.
Lish probably like indicates that like Tobias and Levy like don't have to come with him to the elderberry, and I kind of feel like they like insist on coming with him anyways.
Levy's
Demir and Hawk arrive at the institute and are like, where the fuck did they go?
Secretive meeting with the necromancer.
Levy's just kind of going along with whatever. She's kind of hovering near Toby since Lish is the one with plans.
Okay.
Ish.
Bold of you to assume he thinks anything else.
So, you make your way to the blooming elderberry, and the soul caller is not there when you get there, and you have to wait a little while before she arrives. And for those of you that weren't there before, she's a human woman with brown skin and long, dark hair. She's very striking, and her features are very angular. And she has dark eyes that just seem to like pierce into whoever she looks at. Like, for a real world connection, think kind of South Asian when picturing her. And she is wearing very fine clothes and looks sort of out of place here at this moderate inn. But she spots Lish and she sort of drifts over.
Drifts. Is she floating?
You try and check her feet.
show me them
She's
feet.
walking. She's walking. She just moves gracefully.
Hey, Avery, from 1 to wiki feet, how we looking here?
I don't like that sentence.
Not a real question. What's the line?
I mean, it is okay, but it was a fair question because you are letting us have Dunamancy.
Yeah, what was your perception check?
Who, me?
Yeah, you wanted to check out her feet.
Not really. Actually.
I meant the is she
Yeah,
floating
she is
question.
walking like a normal person. But she just moves very gracefully. She moves with the grace that you would expect a noble to have. She comes and joins you at the table.
Yeah. If Toby and Levy got like a pitcher of something to drink, he'll kind of push the pitcher of something to drink towards her. And remind me of her name again. It's
Soul Caller Lavanya Sultana.
Yeah, Lavanya Sultana. Welcome. It will gesture for her to sit and have a drink if she wants it.
She sits and she orders a glass of wine. And her posture is very straight, and she just kind of steeples her fingers and looks towards you expectantly.
Lish is kind of just casually leaning back in the seat a little bit, just has been chilling and doesn't really change that chilling casual attitude as she comes over. It's like, so wonderful that you were able to come and join us. Our haunted house problem has been solved, so thankfully that is all.
That is wonderful to hear.
I am curious if a necromancer such as yourself does have any interest in ghosts. You do believe in them, don't you?
I do believe in ghosts.
And you've seen them?
Not in person. Well, not the typical sort of ghost, anyway. I have communed with spirits of different sorts over my time.
Well, perhaps we will have to have you over then, once the restoration of the house is complete, so you can meet our resident ghost.
There's a ghost still at the house.
Apparently.
Interesting. I may have to pay you a visit then.
You said that you'd be interested in helping with our plane shifting problem.
I would potentially be interested.
For a price.
Well, it depends on what sort of knowledge can be gleaned.
Elaborate. What do you mean?
I am interested in finding out more about extraplanet travel and the effects on one's body.
Yes.
Could you repeat that, please?
He just says, like, yes, like, continue, like,
Okay.
go on.
She's not saying anything else, but you're reminded of what the world shifter said before, and the impression you got, how he is not really supposed to talk about.
Yeah, that's exactly what Lish is kind of thinking as far as that. Is it possible for me to insight check to see if she's like worried about talking about it, or she's like a part of like the people who are like investigating this? Like, what is her kind of attitude towards the subject?
Roll an insight check.
Yeah. Oh, we're doing this with physical dices.
Lish, insight check, last name. At it again.
17.
17. You get the same impression that she is not supposed to be talking about it. There is a certain level of worry that she is trying to hide.
Does she seem like she's kind of on like the inner council of this sort of discussion at the university, or is she more on like need to know basis?
It's hard to say.
Mm-hmm.
You get the impression that she knows about it, she's not supposed to talk about it, and she's worried.
We have heard from others who seem to have the same concerns. What are your observations on it? Have you witnessed people fall apart, as it were?
Not in this way. There was a group that was intending to go to one plane, wound up at another, and upon return, sustained injuries.
Well, traveling between planes is not without risk when you are mortal. You do not have the power necessary to make the jump. It can be difficult and taxing and straining, I imagine. Is that not natural?
Certain level of wear and tear is to be expected. However, when you have a tuning fork connected to the plane of fire, you wind up elsewhere. If this person is experienced, it is rather dangerous. It is expected for students to make mistakes such as that. But those who actually know what they're doing, it is unusual for them to be put in such a predicament.
So there have been multiple instances of such issue.
Indeed.
Just at the university, or is it something your people have seen elsewhere?
I am not to disclose that information.
For someone like me who is looking to hop between planes, it is not something that your university solely controls. Is it not dangerous for the university to keep that information close to their chests in case someone else tries to make an attempt and hurts themselves?
Roll a persuasion check.
Not bad. Let's see here. 24.
24. There have been instances outside of the institution. However, we are investigating it within the institute, as we are one of the foremost locations of magical study within the country. But it is not a problem with just the institute.
All with tuning forks? Or are other spells for shifting planes going awry as well? Portals?
They are going awry as well, to our knowledge.
Is there no understanding of why? Perhaps the resonance of these tuning forks has gone off, or is it something else?
There is no understanding as of yet. That is what we are attempting to discover. People have come to the Institute trying to seek answers, and we are trying to find those very same answers. But this is a very recent issue.
Well, you did ask me here for a specific question in mind, as far as my interest in attempts. I am curious what you would propose, knowing the current circumstances as you do.
My inclination is to gather as much data as possible and see if we can find a pattern as to how the planes are how the tuning forks and the attempted target of plane shift are shifting. If there is a pattern, that makes it much easier to figure out the solution. If there is not a pattern, at the very least, we know that fact and we can move forward from there.
And how would you propose establishing such a pattern?
I propose sending more people to different planes or attempting them. Figuring out what sort of target plane they have, figuring out where they go, and recording it. It would take time, but if it's necessary to do so for planar travel to become safe again, then I believe it is necessary.
So what do you suggest?
I'm not sure I have any particular suggestion beyond the gathering of information. But the fact that this is occurring on the heels of a mass movement away from the material plane from extraplanar creatures is troubling.
And the loss and transfer of time, noted by many people we have come across in the recent weeks. I am sure your university has heard about this phenomena as well.
Of course, and we are frankly trying to keep it quiet. And she kind of pointedly glances around at the busy tavern around you guys. No one seems to be listening in though, but she is just reminding you to be careful.
I mean, yeah, Lish will be keeping kind of an eye out for any wayward ears.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, he's not particularly interested in keeping the university's secrets. He's not really trying all too hard to be like the most subtle.
Mm-hmm.
I am not particularly interested in having myself or my friends be guinea pigs in your experiment. Though perhaps we can help in some other way of establishing shifting.
Speak to extraplanar creatures who remain and see if you can figure out why it is that the peers have retreated.
I suppose
that would be my best suggestion.
Suppose that we could call upon our friend in the north and see if she has heard anything. He is referring to the dryad that they know from their travels in the woods.
Oh yeah, the one that nearly stole Huck because he was an idiot. That one.
Yeah, you still owe Lish for that, BT dubs.
Oh, he'll repay that eventually, I'm sure.
Once he gets himself deeper in the debt hole.
Listen, what can he even do for you right now?
More than you know.
Well, if Lish asks him.
Yeah, Lish is kind of curious about this. Well, what sort of questions are you specifically looking for? He wants, like, what he should ask.
Whatever you think is appropriate for figuring out why it is that so many creatures left.
This is an easy enough question.
I would recommend asking creatures with a little more power, the ones that are able to leave but have chosen to stay.
In exchange for this, what are you promising in return? Would you be able to provide us with a fey, wild, resonant tuning fork?
I would. I could not guarantee that it would work as you wished, but I would be able to provide you with it.
I'm amenable to this.
You understand that this is all very hush-hush.
I'm certain that the Fae that I ask, or the extraplanar beings that we stumble across, will not care about your university's reputation as to spread it. I will, of course, be mindful.
Very well. Was there any other business you wished to discuss while we are meeting here?
Lish will look to Levy and Tobias if they have anything Levy might want to ask about, anything regarding dreams or necromancy or wizardry.
No, she's actually quietly freaking the fuck out.
Oh.
Because more and more she hears about extraplanar travel being fuckered and time being fuckered and all of that, the more she gets stuck in her own head about the time.
Levy's falling prey to the doom posting.
Yeah, she's doom scrolling in her head. Her brain is doom scrolling and she's clearly having a moment. She is withdrawn and
Tobias doesn't have anything.
Okay. Well, Lish will just say, it appears that our interests are aligned then, Professor. Because I also am interested in the reasoning as for these withdrawals. So I will find out what I can.
Very well. You may find me once again at the Institute once you have the information.
All right. Enjoy your drink.
And good luck with your friend's sword.
Lish will just sigh at that. Yes, we are going to see.
She'll finish sipping her wine, and she stands up very gracefully and moves away.
A lot of good information. Lish just kind of like fucking wizards.
At this point, Hawk and Demir, you would have gone to the Institute to try and find the others, but they have already left.
I knew it. I knew it. Wait, they said they'd be right here.
Demir knows about Lish's meeting at the inn, so
Yeah, she's going to kind of like, I think I know where he is, and start heading towards the inn.
Okay.
What about Levy? What about Tobias?
I assume they are with him.
Okay, fair enough.
And she's just going to kind of walk her way over there.
Okay.
Buddy system maintained, of course.
You make your way over, rejoin the rest of the crew. Erin, was there anything in particular you were doing when you were hanging out with Esme?
Yeah, just one thing, I think. He's gonna, bustle around, trying to clean things up for a bit, but he gets bored easily.
Okay.
And he's gonna head out.
There's a nice big library you could look at.
Ooh. Yeah, I think he's gonna go out of us though, and just look around for some sign of life, some animals. See if you can find like a squirrel or something.
Find a what?
See if you can find like a squirrel or something.
Squirrel.
A squirrel? Well, there is a fair amount of taxidermy around the house. But if you're looking for a live squirrel, like outside, roll an investigation check.
I think it's just looking for animals in general is the thing. So,
yeah,
birds, squirrels.
That's a 19.
You're able to find a squirrel in the tree in the graveyard. It's just kind of sitting up there eating.
Yay.
Roll just a perception check just as a bonus too.
All right.
Squirrel hours.
That is also a 19.
All right. You notice that although Lish cast plant growth yesterday, the plants that grew over Aderin's grave, where the portal to the Shadowfell is, have turned gray and died. You just notice that while you're there.
Is it
But
just
you see the squirrel, and that's what that's the important part.
Is it just around the grave? Have the plants like around everything else also survived, or are they dead as well?
The plants around everything else have survived. Like there's stuff growing. It's just over the Shadowfell portal that they've died.
We didn't put a tree on top of it.
But
Yeah, that's fair.
there's some nice flowers and stuff around everywhere else.
So, I'm just, excited about his newest little ability he's got. So he is going to cast his Speak with Animals off of the acorn.
Okay. So you attuned to the acorn then. You cast Speak with Animal on yourself. There's the squirrel that's up there.
Hi!
What do you say?
You're a squirrel! What's it like being a squirrel?
You're a person.
Uh-huh.
People don't come here anymore.
Well, we're thinking we might be changing that.
I will have to go.
Oh, I don't want to kick you out. You're welcome to stay.
These people are big. They stomp all over everything.
That may happen, but several of my friends are very, with nature and very concerned with plant growth. Some of the plants over there were made.
I don't care
by
about
one of my
that.
very good friends.
I just want food. I just want food.
That's understandable. Did you see what happened to the plants over there?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have food in there.
All right, that makes sense. Well, good luck, I guess.
He just goes back to eating the the bits of food he found.
Aaron just walks back over to the house like, I talked to a squirrel.
All right. As for the rest of the group, was there anything that you guys wanted to accomplish before heading back to the tragedy house?
Not particularly, but Demir is going to like tell people what the situation is, including that we get to decorate our own rooms. So put some thought into that.
Yeah, y'all need to decide who's assigned to where. And what if you're turning any rooms
Demir's like, I
into
call dibs on the master. The master bedroom. It's ours. I call dibs.
Yeah, do we all gather back at the house then, I think, so we can fight over?
Yeah.
You think it might be a good idea to have everyone on the same floor?
Has Aaron been cleaning
Okay.
today, or has he just been dinking around?
He's been making a half-hearted effort to clean, but he hasn't accomplished anything.
Yeah, I think Dove said earlier that like Aaron was trying to clean and then he got bored and he wanted to go talk to a squirrel. So honestly,
okay.
mood. I would do the same thing.
So, just before we go for the day, are there any changes to what the rooms are on the first floor?
On the first floor?
First floor's
Yeah.
just a bunch of stuff. I don't think we need to change anything about the first floor in particular.
Let me look at
Okay.
the maps again.
Yeah.
Art and
I'm gonna
visual.
go through this room by room. Or floor by floor, I guess.
And the map of
Um,
the house is pinned in the campaign info
This is true.
thing. So if anyone needs to look at it, it's there.
Campaign info.
Yeah.
Drop
And
everything.
not to give you guys homework or anything, but once we decide what your bedrooms look like, send me a description. What you want in your bedroom.
Oh, Hawk's suggestion of having everyone on the same floor wouldn't work unless you start sharing beds. Because like there's the master, which is big, and I can't believe Demir's
We'll
hoarding
get
that
to
to
that.
herself.
We'll get to that. We're doing
get to
the first floor right now.
Okay.
First floor, I think we don't really need to do anything so much. Just
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that we should at least leave some of the old Tri-C stuff in there to keep Esme happy.
Well, actually,
Okay.
I think perhaps we want to dedicate a room to Esme herself,
True.
so that
I thought it would
she
be
has
nice.
she has a place, and we can put the creepy doll away.
And we do want to make sure we have a
wait.
place for the tieflings to stay too.
Which room are you
So
dedicating
planning
to
on
her?
grabbing them.
storage.
I am inclined to put her in maybe like the storage room to like turn that into a bedroom for her.
Does the storage room have windows?
That's a good
I
point.
was personally eyeballing like,
Let's put on the first floor.
On the third floor, the storage room.
oh yeah.
Okay. Right now I'm trying to do this piece by piece. So first floor you guys said was good.
Yeah, we don't
yeah.
want anything for the first floor. We're
It
talking
sounded like Felix
Okay,
had an idea though.
Second floor.
Second floor looks like
Uh,
the married couple is commanding the master bedroom.
and then
Okay,
maybe
so that's gonna be Lish and Demi in the master bedroom.
sure.
If Avery was
I'm
Planning on
trying
sharing.
to organize.
Yeah, and then maybe Levy and Toby in guest bed or nursery.
Think that.
I was thinking of putting the tiefling kiddos in the nursery, personally, if everybody's amenable to that.
I would say that would be a good idea.
Have some kids in there again.
Okay.
Might make Esme happy. Either the tiefling kids would go in there, or I feel like we could put Esme in there with her things because that was her kids' stuff.
She if it makes you guys feel any better, she does not need a bedroom because she's a ghost and does not sleep.
Well, yeah, but it would be
But
nice.
we should still
if
keep
she had like a
some.
spot.
Yeah, because like
It's more
I
like
will say that the den would be a good spot for her because it has her family's portrait.
yeah,
Oh,
We
yeah.
There's also the toy that's in there, and that we could put all in there for safekeeping.
We could visit her in there.
yeah.
a good idea.
Like if it's a historical house too, like that could just be the. You could call it a sort of like mini Tri-C museum even.
True. And the library is right next to it, so that's kind of
Yeah,
That's
and then
actually-
like there's conservatory from there, and Esme seems very fond of gardening.
perfect. Okay.
All right.
So we have that one squared away. Esme gets the den.
We're gonna make it the
Okay.
Esme room.
Yeah. And I marked that down. You can see on the roll 20. I just put down Esme's den.
Yeah.
Yay!
Um,
Anyways,
and then second floor, I put Echo and Egret in the nursery, Lish and Demir in the master bedroom. Then there's guest bed 1.
does
And then the office can be converted to something too.
yeah.
I mean, the family room could also be the kiddos' bedroom. Because it's bigger
One or
for
two.
2 people.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good
True.
point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good point.
Okay. So who's gonna take guest bed 2?
Does Hawk or Erin want it? Because Levy was gonna ask Toby if he wanted to bunk down with her in guest bed 1.
Yeah. True.
Toby
fair.
would be down to bunk with her instead one.
Yeah.
That way,
yeah,
that way we are connected via the bathroom.
Bath therapy. There will be
Bath
no
therapy!
stay.
All right.
I mean, also Demir can go and harass her boy.
Jeez.
Screams of the damned from the microphone. Love it.
Great.
Love it.
Ow. It's okay.
All right. So, Erin or Hawk is guest bed 2, or you can save that for B.
True.
Up to you guys.
Option.
Valkyria
think-
needs a room.
If
Mhm.
we
Oh,
could
that's
we
also
could
true.
turn guest bed 2 into like an actual sort of guest room.
Yeah,
Okay.
that might be a good idea.
All right. So then your nursery is going to be converted to a guest room. Okay.
Alternatively, we could give Valkyria guest bed 3 on the 3rd floor because it has a porch, so she could fly in and out that way.
Oh, I
But
was
that's
I was
a good
gonna,
idea.
I was thinking about taking a claim on that, but that's an even better idea actually.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then that
So
just
we'll
kind of
get
makes
to
the
that in a
third floor
moment.
like
Yeah.
where
So,
we put guests.
In the moment, nursery guest
Mhm.
bed 2.
Before we
If Aaron
like,
wants a room to himself to like even paint in and whatnot, that could be really cool. Like a combination bedroom and studio.
yeah, I'm
Oh,
gonna
that
say
sounds so fun.
before we set something aside as like for guests, like let's make sure that we all have a room first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we're gonna run out of rooms if we start saying this one's for guests, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Mhm.
I wouldn't mind going in the renovating the office fair and if you know, Hawk, you want an actual room.
So who's going to be in the office?
I thought we were gonna move the guest room up and then like
Forget about the guest room. Where do you want
yeah, I know.
Aaron to be, basically?
Yeah.
Where do
Yeah,
they
we're
wanna be?
focusing on the party right now.
Yeah.
Hawk and Erin need to pick their rooms first.
Does Aaron want to renovate the office? Well,
Yeah, Aaron's down.
Does
with
Erin
that.
want to sleep in basically a closet?
I was gonna offer like Aaron take the nursery and guest bed because I really like that studio idea, but that's dependent on if Dove's on board with that.
Oh no, yeah, I love that. I mean, I'm
So like,
I'm entirely down to get the nicer room.
yeah, even more art. And like Hawk, like he doesn't need a bed. He's a robot. He slept in a tree for most of his life. So I was gonna vouch for him taking the office.
All right.
If that's what Hawk wants.
Yeah.
Okay,
It makes sense because you wouldn't need to really put a bed in there.
that's true. You could just
Okay.
putter around and do something.
I don't know. It's
Does
Aaron
that look
has
okay
studio.
for the second floor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Aaron's the
And then
one
we'll
with the
together on the
studio.
floor, and you know.
Yeah,
there's, like,
Aaron
little
was-
snook if we want to go down there.
Yeah,
Aaron
it-
was the studio.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's all good.
Okay.
All right.
And so then guest bed 3 can be for Valk, and then family room can be for the twins.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm getting there. I have to mark all this down.
That's
I'm
okay.
not-
It's okay.
I'm
Yeah,
discussing what we are thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. We do have a whole servants' quarters and storage too. Are we going to even have servants?
Probably
I
not.
don't think so.
It can
I
be
mean, it is good to
Alright,
just
for
have like
free.
extra rooms around just in case.
It could be our armory.
Okay. So there's guest bed 3.
I believe the idea was guest bed 3 would be like the guest/Valkyria room.
Yep.
Because like not
Where's
only is the
Valk is
portrait there,
going
but
to be?
Valk's also got ready access just down the hall to the top of the roof for
Mhm.
takeoffs and landings and whatnot.
Up on
Okay.
the Widow's Walk.
Family room.
Family
the
room is
kiddos.
gonna be the kid room, yeah. I
Okay.
like Lish's idea for making, or Kenzie's idea for making the servants' quarters an armory, but we could probably also just sort of make it like, you know, we've got the storage in the back, and then closer to the actual hallway, the servants' quarters could become like ready access storage. So like not just armor and weapons, but also things like potions and adventuring gear,
Shit,
etc.
we gotta grab and go.
Yeah, basically like stuff that we want to keep on hand and don't want to sift through crates for.
When we
Storage.
come home from a long journey, we just toss our fucking bags in there.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then looking at the basement, I don't think we really need to change anything because that's just going to be like, you know, the cellar, the pantry, etc.
I agree with that one.
It's where we'll put our hell portals.
I mean,
Awesome.
unless we can collect those.
The
We
well
want to
could be
make
a
sure
new
we
portal
want to
too,
make
but-
sure that the water is not spoiled, but
Yeah.
We can have Crunchwrap Supreme live in the pantry.
Leave us out of house and home.
Well, what about the kid room? We could put an extra bed in there for Crunch Trap Supreme.
You want to put
Crunchwrap
the
Supreme.
chaotic, evil kobold with the children?
Such a bad influence.
Enrichment.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm sure the children that in an alternate timeline were thieves would go great with a kobold.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe the kids can be a good influence on the kobold.
I doubt it.
Crunchwrap Supreme can be in the guest room with Valk. It's fine.
Be sad.
Yeah.
Plan. I think that's all of it, right?
All right. So I will just say that you got that information sent off to the gnome whose name you did not bother to ask.
Oh no.
We're so rude.
He's Nomi McNomerson.
And
hold on. Is it possible to add a balcony on the master bedroom?
That would be nice.
Because I was looking at the layout of the house, and there is a little corner out of the master bedroom that it seems like you could add just a little balcony there without, because it's on top of
Hang
the
It's over the
porch.
porch.
Yeah, it's on top of the porch, so there's already a built structure there.
Well, here's the thing. The master
Like
bedroom is floor 2,
here,
and the
were
porch
you
is on floor
thinking?
3.
No, the first floor porch wraps around the house.
Oh, right. Okay, my bad. Okay.
You could add a balcony there. It would cost a little bit of extra money.
Where
Could swing
Wah, wah.
it, I'm sure.
we have
Yeah.
time to come up with a little extra cash.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have time to come up with the cash. Because I imagine that these repairs are going to take some time.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna take a little while, yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'm done
Yeah,
if you
it's
go
gonna
list.
cost a little bit of extra money upon completion.
Okay.
But you can have a porch, like you can see the area that I revealed on the Roll20 that would work for the porch there, or the balcony, I mean.
I'm just seeing
it's not
the
showing.
third floor.
Yeah, it's still on the third floor.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Boop.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah, like that. Exactly like that.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Balcony, put
It'd
out a
be
chair
little
and
bit of
table.
extra money, but that can be done.
Excellent. Hell yeah.
Excellent.
All right.
I think everything else is.
So we will assume that you sent that off to the gnome, and we can pick up next time with Aldrich arriving at you guys' house.
Yay!
Hell
To
yeah.
pick up the
Hell
shadow
yeah.
spell. So you can
Yeah.
send him into the wizard hubris hole.
It's the whole third.
Goodbye, magic man.
We take the wizard and we push him over there.
Where else?
Wizard goes in
All
the
right.
hubris hole.
For his hubris.
Well,
Crimes.
that's how it goes sometimes. Well, thank you for playing, guys.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you for
As always.
DMing.
Thank you for being a lovely and wonderful.
Despite the fucking weirdness that I don't understand with Zoom.
Technology will
I'll
always
have
just
to-
be against us. I'm sorry.
We persisted.
Speaking of against us, no session next week unless we want to reschedule it because I have a final that I'm going to be presenting Saturday morning.
Good
Good luck.
with that.
June is gonna be
But
hard
we
for me.
can reschedule if you want, or we can just vibe. It's fine.
We'll
But
figure it
anyway,
out.
Thanks for
We'll figure it out.
playing. Thanks for
Yeah.
playing, guys.
Thank you.
So glad to come here.
Bye.
We'll
See you guys
you
around.
Time
Good day,
whenever
y'all.
that is.
Here's to a better week.
All right. Mhm.